Guys, I'm going to go off script. I mean, not really. This video, like all the others, will have a transcript. I know that some of you absolutely hate watching videos. Don't worry about it. But what I mean is that this video isn't about science or critical thinking. Although you can really say that critical thinking applies to everything. But the point is, this is just straight up a video about human rights and about how I can't have any kind of platform and not feel that I should use it to shout to the world that the United States is running concentration camps and we have to do something to stop it. Surly Amy made a great post over on Skepchick. If you need the background on what's happening, there's lots of good links there. But essentially, families immigrating to the United States are being separated by U.S. officials. They're separating children, toddlers, teenagers from their parents and locking them up in shocking, unlivable conditions. And anything you might have heard in passing is not hyperbole. We're talking 10-year-olds caring for toddlers who don't have diapers, so they just pee on the floor. The concrete floor, the same floor where the children are expected to sleep without cushions and with the lights on all night long. We're talking about a lack of nutritious food for children. There are flu epidemics going around. There are lice epidemics. Multiple children have died. These kids who have no idea what's happening or if they're ever going to see their families again, they're dying. They're getting sick. They're dying and they're scared. And Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, could move these kids out and place them with their own family members in the United States, but they choose not to. And why? Could be apathy, could be a lack of funds, or it could be because they want this. They want migrants to see these children suffering, being tortured, and in the hopes that fewer migrants will come. They want them to know that the horrible life that they are working so hard to escape will only be worse here in the United States. And, forget what the Statue of Liberty has to say about it, right? Actually, I'd prefer you not forget because it's so beautifully ironic. The Statue of Liberty is a mother, as defined in the poem at its base, The New Colossus. And I'm going to read that poem for you in full. And I'm sorry if this is like, this is a basic bitch thing. But I mean, just listen to these words. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, she cries with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. The Statue of Liberty, that symbol of America, is a mother welcoming the children who are seen as human trash because this land offers a better life for them. The mother of exiles. And now, 140 years later, we're taking those exiles and we're locking them in cages. Literal children. It took me ages to plan out this video, actually, because just thinking that this is happening, it makes me well up with tears and I have to take constant breaks. I'm privileged to be able to take a break from this. I live in a beautiful home in a beautiful city without a real care in the world, while children are dying unsupervised without ever knowing if they're ever even going to see their parents again, with no one to hold them, no one to comfort them, or even lie to them and say everything's going to be okay. It's not, because they're going to die without their parents there. I won't be one of those people who did nothing while events that led up to the Holocaust happened under my nose. I won't be one of those people. And yes, that is what's happening. I don't care if you call them concentration camps or detention camps. No one is gassing kids to death, but the bickering over the phrase concentration camps, the people who are making that the point of contention are only helping to distract and hide what is happening, to hide the horror of what's happening. And yes, I'm including the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum in that. They put out a statement saying that the museum rejects efforts to create analogies between the Holocaust and other events, whether historical or contemporary. Because, what's the point in remembering a horrific event and studying how it happened, if not to prevent it from happening in the future? The Holocaust Memorial Museum's position might be surprising to you if you don't already know that it is fully under the control of the current presidential administration. The board members are mostly presidential appointees, with a handful of sitting congresspeople thrown in. That's always been the case, and it's run into an issue with that before. Back in 2017, the museum commissioned a study that basically found that Obama didn't do anything wrong in Syria. And when academics pointed out the huge conflict of interest, that this was a museum appointed and run by President Barack Obama, finding that he is completely innocent of any wrongdoing in Syria, they pulled the study down. So, yeah, the Holocaust Museum is not as unbiased as, say, the myriad scholars of history who agree that these camps more than qualify for the concentration camp label, which, by the way, is not to be confused with extermination camp. They are two connected but separate ideas. Are we currently witnessing a Holocaust the likes of which we saw in the 1940s? No. But even the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum's historian and activist recognized the parallels between Trump's migrant policies and the refugee crisis of the 1930s and 40s. The fight over whether to call them concentration camps is pure polemics, specifically designed to distract you from what is happening. Please do not fall for it. One of the more frustrating aspects of having this stupid debate on whether or not we're heading down the road toward a Holocaust-like event is that if our side, the one that doesn't want children dying in cages, wins, then conservatives will say, see, no Holocaust happened. We were right. If we lose, no one will notice until it's too late, because if we accept children dying in cages, what will we accept next? At what point will society say, okay, that particular human rights abuse is a little too far? Please see the link to the transcript below, where I'll have plenty of links to places that you can go and help with your time, your money, your voice. All of it is needed. And yes, maybe in the future they'll say we were overreacting, but at least that future won't have dead migrant children in it.